Hi, this is Bob Costas, and you're listening to the ML Sports Platter.
The ML Sports Platter, back with you all over the major platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer. Download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. This is a special Saturday edition as this comes out, and you're a subscriber. And if you're not, please do download, subscribe, and leave feedback and a 5-star review on those platforms. All that stuff does help an awful lot. It is May 1st when you hear this, and it is Kentucky Derby Saturday, the first Saturday in May, the Run for the Roses and all the rest. It's a special podcast edition with our good friend Todd Haight, the horse racing insider and handicapper, the general manager at Batavia Downs Gaming in Western New York OTB, both proud sponsors of the ML Sports Platter. Get to your local OTB throughout the state of New York, wherever you live: Albany, Buffalo, Rochester, Watertown, Syracuse, Scranton, wherever, and place those bets for the Kentucky Derby. And oh, by the way, head on over to BataviaDownsGaming.com, BataviaDownsGaming.com. Go stay, go play, check out the concert series as well. Batavia Downs Gaming in Western New York, OTB, proud ML Sports Platter sponsors. Todd Haight, welcome back, man. How are you? Derby Day.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Let's start right away. I mean, what are some of the things you're looking for on Derby Saturday, and who do you have winning the race?
Well, it's nice to see fans in the stands. About 45,000 will be allowed to attend the races this year. It's nice to have the Derby back on the first Saturday in May instead of September as it was last year. Yeah. And, it's nice to have a nice 20-horse field where the favorite is certainly doesn't have to win. He's vulnerable, to say the least, and he's a very short price, which has driven up the odds of these other horses, so that makes for a spectacular betting race. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a horse player, I have to tell you.
Yeah, at the 17, highly motivated. I know it's not a popular pick amongst many. I'm picking highly motivated. I just think the Bluegrass run was really good. Anytime you take a Chad Brown horse, why not? And that horse has some awesome storylines behind it too, Todd.
Yeah, I actually bet on that horse in the Bluegrass against Essential Quality, and, he had the race won until he just got tired at the end. Yeah. It was his first time getting the distance. He changed back to his wrong lead. He was, sucking air a little bit at the wire. I just don't know if he's going to get the same setup this time. He went very slow, 48-1. That's never going to happen. So, and I'm not sure he wants to run a mile and a quarter, but like you said, Chad Brown, he's had his last 5 Derby starters have all been very competitive, and this one will be competitive as well. So if you like him, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just not one of my picks.
Yeah, and Seth Klarman, the businessman, mogul, the billionaire investor, he's gotten into horse racing and is a part owner of the Red Sox and actually owns, along with the Clairvich stables, he owns this horse. So that's a pretty cool deal there. Essential Quality, the big topic is the 14th post. How hard is it coming out of there, Todd?
Don't think it's going to be a problem at all. I mean, it's kind of almost towards the middle. I don't think you want to be on the inside, and certainly don't want to be on 18, 19, or 20. He's got a versatile running style. That's why he's unbeaten, because he uses his running style to his advantage. If the pace is fast, he'll drop back a few lengths and just bide his time. If the pace is slow, like it was in the Bluegrass, he'll sit right off the leader and try to wear him down. So, a very good horse, Mike, no question about it. I just, like I say, he shouldn't be 2-1. When you're talking about 2-1, you're talking about a horse that has the superior speed figure in the race, and he doesn't have the best speed figure. He has the 4th best speed figure, so that 2-1 price is absolutely ridiculous. He's also the 2-year-old champion, and let's face it, he had a great 2-year-old campaign, but the 2-year-old champion has not fared well in the Kentucky Derby. Only 2 have won in 37 years, and I could go on and on. He's a horse that's had perfect trip after perfect trip. One of these days, his luck is going to run out. I mean, something's going to happen to him. Somebody's going to pull. He's going to have trouble. He's going to break. Something's going to happen. Is it going to happen tomorrow? I'm not sure. But again, at 2-1, I just think there's better ways to go.
From a pure betting standpoint, leading into the Derby with the qualifying and all the other races that have happened, do you look more at a horse who's recently hot, or doesn't that matter as much?
Oh, it definitely matters. We're looking for horses that are progressing. We want to see their speed figures continuing to improve. Don't forget, these are maturing horses. They won't fully mature until next year at their 4-year-old season. We don't want to see a horse like Essential Quality, who really isn't running any faster this year as a stronger 3-year-old as he did as a 2-year-old. We want to see that big progression. For example, Rock Your World. Where did he come up with that triple-digit speed figure? Was it a fluke, or is he going to continue to improve improve? Will he run a 105 on Saturday? A 100 gets the job done. If he even improves a little bit off of that race, he's going to win. Or a horse like Hot Rod Charlie. If you look at his numbers continue to improve. That's what you want to see. A big long shot is a horse named Obesos. This is a racing oddity. As the distances have went longer, and that's number 6, his numbers have improved, which tells us he wants to keep going. So that's a great long shot. 20 to 1 on Obesos. I mean, come on. The value in this race, I mean, you're going to have to put your mind together and put some numbers together, because there's a lot of different ways you can play. But certainly from a value standpoint, this is one of the best Kentucky Derbies I've seen in many, many years.
Yeah, I love some of the names in this one. Just like every year, there's so many great ones that are in here. Do you have favorite horse names from the history of the sport, or more recently, Todd? Do you look for cool names? Do you have any favorites?
Well, one of my favorites is back in 1977, Seattle Slew, because that was the biggest bet I ever made on in the Derby.
There you go.
To this day, I bet more on the Seattle Slew race than I've ever bet in all these years since. So that horse will always have a fond memory in my mind. I was a young kid then, and it was just, I just loved that horse, and he did not disappoint, even though Angel Cordero tortured me for about 3/4 of the race before he finally dropped back. But like I say, I just look at speed figures, track biases, breeding and things like that. So, but I will tell you, I may have a little bourbon tomorrow, so number 10, Midnight Bourbon, he may stick out, and he's been training great, so he's another long shot at the 20 to 1 with big money Mike Smith aboard. He's not a bad horse either.
Oh, man, Mike Smith, that guy, I mean, he is unbelievable. He's like a fine wine, right? Isn't that what they say? He's aging like a fine wine. What is he, 57 now?
Yeah, he's
58. Is that? Do I have that right? I'll look that up.
Yeah, around that age. I don't know exactly, but like you said, he goes to the gym every day. He watches his diet. He's all muscle.
55.
55. And he still rides with the best of them. He's selective. He doesn't want to ride 9 races a day anymore. $3 million purse, the winning jockey picks up over $180,000 for about 2 minutes and 3 seconds work, and that's what he's looking to do. And he's still very capable, and he doesn't get nervous. You've got some jockeys here that, they don't ride in the Derby very much, and who knows what happens. Now, luckily, they're not going to be riding in front of 150,000 fans tomorrow. They're going to be riding in front of 45, but still, I'm sure some of them will get nervous. So I will tell you, Mike Smith is not one of those guys.
That's right. They will have far less of a crowd passed out in the infield as the winner comes around for the win in the Derby.
Yes.
Todd Haight, a couple more quick ones for you as we chat Kentucky Derby, the outstanding handicapper and insider, Batavia Downs Gaming, Western New York OTB, GM. So oftentimes we hear, would you take this, athlete or the field, this horse or the field? Would you take these athletes, these horses, or the field? If you were to make up that group versus the field, 1 or 2 or 3, even 4 horses, what horse or horses would you put in a group versus the field? Would you add highly motivated, Rock Your World, and Essential Quality? Would it be Known Agenda in there versus the field? What group would you take against the field?
I'll give you 4 that I'll take against the field.
Okay.
I'll take the 8 Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert trainee. Yep. I mean, he's been coming out of the best races. Let's face it, Rock Your World was a triple-digit speed figure race. He finished second, and Life is Good would have been the favorite. That's also a Bob Baffert horse if he didn't get injured. So I'm going to use him. I'm going to use the 9 Hot Rod Charlie, because I know there's a ton of buzz around this horse. The clockers at Churchill Downs love this horse. He's 8 to 1. The 14 Essential Quality and the 15. Those would be the 4 main horses. I would take these against the field, but I have to tell you, in most years it's a no-brainer. Take the top 4. This year, not so sure the field might actually step up and win. So it's that kind of race, Mike.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. When did you start falling in love with the Kentucky Derby? Do you remember? Was there a time where it really struck and you just became obsessed with it?
I think Secretariat. I mean, my parents loved Secretariat. They actually went to Belmont Park in 1973, and I've been a horse racing fan since maybe earlier than 73. But how could you not like Secretariat and love them, actually? And then, of course, in 1980, Niatros came around, and that's when I kind of got into the harness because of Niatros. And I've been a horse racing fan ever since. But you have to take your hat off to these great horses. Forgo back in the 70s used to come from from the Clouds, John Henry, Cigar. I mean, there's been just so many champion horses throughout the years that, unfortunately the game has changed. We don't get to see these great horses race in their 4 and 5 year old seasons anymore. If they're any good, they retire at age 3. So it's changed, but still, we'll see. Who knows? Will we have a Triple Crown winner this year? Probably not, but not impossible, I would say.
Okay, at the 19th post, Todd Haight, there is a horse by the name of Soup and Sandwich. What is your favorite soup and sandwich combination?
Well, let me just say I'm not a big fan of Soup and Sandwich. He's a great horse, so I guess if you like a great horse, he's your horse. My favorite soup and sandwich, well, I don't like tomato soup, but I don't know, any kind of sandwich I'll eat, and as long as it's a chicken-based soup, I guess I'm good. But if for the people that follow you, Mike, I would not play soup and sandwich tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's what you get coming on the ML Sports Platter, man. Let me tell you, you get a couple oddball questions with it. Todd Haight, the general manager, Western New York OTB, and of course Batavia Downs Gaming, awesome handicapper and insider. Todd, appreciate you coming on. Look forward to chatting more throughout the horse racing season, pal.
Sounds good, Mike. Have a good day.
And I think, this is as wide open, right, as any Derby that we've had. It's awesome to have it back in May. Last year was so weird. Sometimes people come up and they're like, hey, last year, and I'm like, yeah, 2019. I'm like, oh yeah, we did have 2020, right? Somehow, somewhere, we did that, I think. But it's as wide open as anything. I go through this thing, and I think it's probably essential quality, highly motivated, rock your world, no an agenda against the field. I like highly motivated. I'm going to take highly motivated to win this. I'm going to take Known Agenda number 2 and then Rock Your World number 3. Obviously, this is a crapshoot. A lot of it will depend on, essential quality coming out of that post. You just heard Todd Haight say he's not worried about it in the 14 spot. Bourbonnick's an interesting one at 20 for sure. I would not poo-poo, again, Medina Spirit. It's a Baffert horse. It's a Velasquez jockey. That combo is fantastic, just like the Pletcher-Velasquez combo is fantastic. And by the way, Bob Baffert going for a little history at the Kentucky Derby. So a lot on the line, a lot going on. Great to have it back on that Saturday in May, that first Saturday, the Run for the Roses, of course. Looking forward to it. And, of course, Todd Haight from Western New York OTB. Make sure you place your bets throughout the state, wherever you live, Watertown, Utica, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, you name it. Western New York OTB is a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor, as is Batavia Downs Gaming. Visit BataviaDownsGaming.com. Check out the calendar of concerts and go stay and go play. They have a terrific hotel, awesome places to eat as well, including that Thurman Thomas restaurant. Big Bills fans go there and watch all the games and eat some terrific food and drink some great beers. Batavia Downs Gaming, Western New York OTB, proud ML Sports Platter sponsors. Enjoy the Kentucky Derby. I'm Mike Lindsley, and can't thank you enough for downloading, subscribing, and listening to the ML Sports Platter. As I always tell you, enjoy the games, or in this case, enjoy the races.